Assalamu alaikum, Qatar, and to all our viewers across the world. Welcome to our 31st episode of the weekly virtual Big B Meetup. Big B Meetup is a community initiative founded in 2018 in Doha. It is inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate, and dedicated to my mother. It aims to inform, to educate, to inspire, and bring communities together. This is our last episode of the most phenomenal year of our lives, the year 2020. And thus, I have two phenomenal expat super mums as my guests, Elizabeth and Anahi. Hola and hola.
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 Yeah, I needed to get that right. So I'm so happy to finally have Anahi and Elizabeth on our show, our community show. And I always said ladies first, but I'm like, I'm in a predicament now. Both are ladies now. Who do I start with? So I'm gonna play safe and go with the alphabet. So A comes before E, I think so.
Or you can go with the youngest one, so that's okay.
Then it
Oh,
will be
okay.
you.
Yeah. So Anahi, could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. So my name is Anaí Ortiz Prieto, and I'm a coach, I'm a author and a speaker, and I live in Qatar, and I love this place.
Lovely, lovely. That's nice. And Elizabeth, if you would like to introduce yourself too,
I think I have some issue with my light here.
that's okay. No worries. That's fine.
So I am Elizabeth Reis. I am Portuguese. I live in Macau since 2006. I am an
Oh,
image
wow.
etiquette and protocol consultant, and I founded Glamiar Image, and I've been working with Glamiar Image officially since 2009. And it's a
Wow.
pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me, especially with Anaí. I love Anaí and I respect her a lot.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you for
didn't
having
even,
me.
I didn't even know that y'all are such good friends. Now I'm worried that y'all might just take over my show here, Because
We will. You're in danger zone now.
Well,
We'll be there. Okay,
okay.
go to sleep, Bosco. It's okay. We have it.
Yeah. Talking of going to sleep, listen, you're confusing me with your two kids that you just put to sleep.
I put my sons to sleep, yes, but I think Elizabeth's sons are still awake and playing around.
Oh, wow. Okay.
no, I go to sleep. I am the one that goes to sleep and they are still
Okay.
awake now. So
See, this is the thing, Bosco. One of the things that I admire a lot about Elizabeth is that she's a businesswoman, she's an entrepreneur, but she's also a fantastic mom, and I admire that. So I have come to her asking for advice because I also have two boys, and I'm like, please tell me it gets easier, please, just please tell me. And she's like,
and I
it
told you it does.
True, true. Wow, listen, you're already taken over my show, but I'm happy about that. So, Anahi, coming back to you, when did you arrive into Doha? I mean,
I have been in Doha for 12 years. In May, it's gonna be 12 years. So
wow,
originally, yes, originally I came here because my mother was living here, and I just came for 2 years, and I was gonna move back to Argentina. And 12 years later, here I am, and Doha is my home.
that's very interesting. Wow, I mean, so what made you make Doha your home? Because it is your home actually, in fact.
Yes. So like I mentioned, I'm Venezuelan Argentinian. I left my country 15 years ago because the political situation was really complicated. Originally a journalist.
Which country did you leave?
Venezuela first. So I left
Oh,
I
okay.
left Venezuela when I was 21. And I moved first to Argentina, which is where my dad was from. And I lived there
Oh,
for a while, but then my mom was living here in Qatar. And I said, Qatar is a land of opportunities. I'm a journalist. Let me see what I can do. I came and my idea was to come, save a little bit of money and go back. And I fell in love with the place. And then eventually I started I left for for a year, and then I came back and I started my family here, and it's such a great place to have little kids. So
yeah.
that make no sense to be anywhere but here.
Yeah, that's true. I bump into you at the mall sometimes and I see your two wonderful kids. You're a lovely mom, and so is Elizabeth. Although I've not met her with her kids. Let me go back to you again. And how would you take this question? What do you like and what do you dislike about Qatar? I'm asking both of you these questions because as expats, I just want to know, your viewpoint.
I like the safety. I feel like Qatar has given many of us expats a chance on a better life. I like the fact that when I'm with my kids, I know that they can wander around safely. That there's such a protective and family friendly vibe. I love that. I love also the fact that we are all exposed to so many different cultures. My friends come from everywhere. Like, look, like you come from Goa, Elizabeth comes from Portugal. I have friends from all over the world, and that is lovely. I think that the thing that I dislike the most, other than the fact that I'm so far from home because I miss my family, obviously, is it's for like three weeks in the year I hate the summer. That's the only thing. Everything else I'm happy
Yeah,
with. But
yeah, true.
there are 3 weeks in August when I'm like, it's too hot. I cannot be here.
Yeah, true, true. Just want to ask you, since Elizabeth is an image etiquette and protocol consultant, I will go back to you, Elizabeth, but I want to ask Anahi, what are you wearing? It looks really cute. It reminds me of my cousin sister when she was a kid. It's
Well,
lovely.
basically, knowing that I was gonna be sharing the screen with Elizabeth, I knew that I have to make a statement. And one thing that I have learned from Elizabeth is that style has to be yours. So I always love having things in my hair, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna do red lips and my little Celine band here.
Is it called a Celine band?
The brand is Celine.
Oh, okay. Because we were watching Selena the other day on Netflix. A fantastic series of from Mexico. Yeah. I'm going to switch to Elizabeth. Yeah. And Elizabeth, you're an image etiquette and protocol consultant. So basically, you teach us how to behave. So I'd be getting a slap on my wrist every time because I don't think I behave pretty well. And I definitely don't dress up that well. So I think I definitely need an image consultant. So can you explain to our viewers what is a protocol consultant? What is an image and etiquette consultant?
So basically, is someone who, let's say, who guides you with all and equips you with all these techniques that helps you to stand out in a crowd. Okay, so basically, is that there are a few techniques and a few rules, let's say, that if you know them and if you use them on the right occasions, you will stand out. And basically, it helps you in any situation in your life. And I love it, and I love the rat. And one of the things more related to image consultancy than etiquette, but it's what you just said, is having your unique style. And I always love that about you, and I told you on a few occasions, and I love that in a person, when you have your unique style and you don't let yourself go with trends, and you just keep that, and you just build that, and you believe in that. And I love that. You look lovely.
Thank you.
So
So I mean, not a slap in your hand. I mean, sometimes why not a slap in the hand, but mostly is just sharing, because there are so many things that are basic. And a lot of people, when I do even my seminars or my workshops, and they come to me and they say, you know what, I know these, or I remember these, or my mom used to say this, and now that you are saying it, it makes more sense, or I know that, or even people saying, I didn't know about that, or and I just found out these about etiquette or about protocol. But I think sometimes it's just all about bringing those things up that you buried there, and you know that they exist and you are there, but you just don't use them, and then put them into practice and use them in your day life. And everything is so
yeah.
different. So I am Portuguese. I was born in Africa. I was
Oh,
living in China before I came to Qatar. So
wow.
there are so many differences between these countries and these continents, and you just uh, learn how to adapt as well. So for me, etiquette and protocol has to be also adapted to the place you live, to the surroundings, to the people around you, because you're from Goa. So
Yeah.
I, as a consultant, as an expert, I need to first study the etiquette and protocol of Goa before I come and talk to you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Same
okay.
with in her country. So
Yeah.
that's how it works. I don't believe in having that set of rules and apply them to everyone, because things are different. We are all educated differently. I've changed a lot from my style in Asia, in China, than here in Qatar, and I adapted to the living here, the style, the etiquette here is so different. So it's not the same as when I give a dining etiquette course, and I just say, okay, this cutlery is like that, this, or the plate is like this or that or that. I need to understand that people eat these with their hands, but when they travel, they want to use the proper cutlery. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
all about adapting
yeah.
and accepting the differences.
True. Talking of eating from your hand, I mean, I am from Goa, but I'm an Indian. Goa is part of India, and we love eating with our hand. Although
Yes.
I do use a fork and spoon very often, maybe. Yeah, yeah. But there's another joy of eating with your hand, and like,
Yeah.
I have to say,
That I had to learn. Sorry, Anai. I had to learn that. So I was always educated to use proper cutlery and the right sets of cutlery. And fish is with one cutlery, meat is with another cutlery,
oh yeah,
barbecue is with another cutlery. So I had actually to re-educate myself. When I was living in China, I learned how to eat with chopsticks. You should see me
oh,
nowadays eating
oh,
with chopsticks. I'm an expert in chopsticks. So
fantastic.
in Qatar and with my Indian friends, Pakistani friends, Sri Lankan friends, Filipino friends, Thai friends, I learned how to use my hand and how to master, because there's a technique to eat with your hands. So all of this is part of the process and of accepting and
Yeah,
being able of not just sticking to what you know as, oh, this is European etiquette and this is what is right. Not at all. It's right for us in Europe, but it's wrong for you in Asia or you in South America or wherever you are.
yeah. My only advice is when you're going to eat with your hands, make sure you cut your nails, and have two hands.
I
Yeah.
used to I train as a chef, and that is why my nails are
Oh,
always super short, because
oh,
after training as a chef, I cannot have them long. I get so picky finicky. I'm like, oh.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Talking of chef,
But I have a lot of friends with long nails, and they are not going to cut their nails to eat. And, even with them, I learned of a way of holding the food with the tip of your fingers, or sorry, with the middle of your tip. And I did, I did that, and it helps. So they were like, no way I'm going to cut my nails. So I mean, there's
yeah,
always a way of adapting if you just open minded, and if you just accept that we are all different, and we all
yeah,
take things for granted just because the way we were educated, and we have to
true.
open up,
Yeah,
definitely.
very true. I want to come back to you, Elizabeth, because I want to know more about protocol consultancy and image. But Anahi, there's a question for you from my
Yes.
Qatari friend Ahmad Al Hajri. But before that question, I would like to say, Anahi, when I was going through your bio that you sent me, you have a certified wellness coach, brain work recursive therapy practitioner. That is already working in my brain right now. It's overworked. Trained chef, absolutely. I'm not going to leave that behind because I love to eat, and I'm definitely inviting myself. Or I don't use talabat, which I should. I should, because Elizabeth is a talabat person. And but what I like most of your bio was joy sparker, and I believe that because whenever I've met you, I can see the joy that you exude.
Mm.
But let's go to brain work recursive therapy practitioner. Please explain that.
So that's actually it's a therapy that is used to help people with trauma. So we have all been victims of trauma, and we might call it something like a bad moment, a bad memory. Trauma is something that it like affects the brain and creates an imprint that can later on be retraced back and back and back. Something like a moment, like a car crash, but it can be something small, like a big fight that you witnessed as a child. So brain work recursive therapy, it's an amazing life changing technique that uses the different areas of the brain to work on releasing the way you react to a memory. So we don't delete the memory, we change your reaction to that memory. And how do we do that? Is very easy. We basically, it's kind of imagine hypnotherapy, like
Mhm.
therapeutical hypnotherapy, not the look here. But the real hypnotherapy that access the reptilian complex, which is the base of our brain, is where our pre-verbal memories are locked, and when the older memories are locked, so we basically bypass this part of the brain, which is our prefrontal cortex. We bypass the mammalian brain and we go straight to the area where a lot of the trauma is kept, and we retrace it, and then we change the way you react to that memory. So it is a very fast process. The results are unbelievable. It's great to change addictions. It's great to change anything that is affecting the way you see yourself and you see the world, and how comfortable you feel in the world. So it is very
When you,
powerful.
when you say it's fast, how fast is it? Is it? I mean, how fast do you see results? Or this is
45
very
minutes from the first session.
wow, that's super fast.
The reason why I trained was because my dad was murdered in Venezuela 4 years ago, and whenever I thought about that, I actually was traumatized by that, obviously, right? Um, so whenever I thought about the memory, I would lose control. It was really hard. I struggled with panic attacks in that moment. So someone, a practitioner, a psychologist practitioner, told me about it, and I said, okay, let me give it a try. And the moment that he started the therapy, like the process, I was crying, like uncontrollably crying. I couldn't stop crying. I was so shocked by it. By the end of it, I have stopped crying. And from that moment onwards, I never had a relapse. I still get sad, obviously, and I cry and I miss him. But a memory is actually redone every time you think of it. A memory is a really old imprint that we keep hooking into it. So by changing the way you react to the memory, when you go back to it, it feels less sore, and it feels less sore, and you begin to take control of how you react to it, and so you begin to take control of your emotions. It's really powerful.
Wow, wow, this is fantastic. And is this self-taught? Did you teach this to yourself?
No, 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 no. It was actually one of the most intense trainings I have done in my life. It was super, super, super difficult. It was. I took the certification last year. It was a 6 month program. I have to pass two board exams, and I have to
Wow,
take constantly retraining to maintain my certification. So yeah, it is quite intense.
wow. And are you practicing? Are you practicing it in Doha right now?
Yeah, so I practice it with my coaching clients. I'm not a therapist, I'm a coach. So with my coaching clients, I use it to help them change some of the self belief that they have around themselves and their value. I use it with smoke cessation. I use it in situations where the person has some old memories that are re-triggering them into habits that they want to break. I don't use it for things more traumatic. My colleagues that are
Hmm.
therapists back in the UK and in South Africa, I have actually used it a lot in victims of rapes, big disasters, really big trauma, to help them cope with them. It's quite impressive.
Wow. Let's take Ahmed's question for you, the previous one, because he's
Yeah.
got a question. He's got a question for Elizabeth now. Uh, Anai, being a wellness coach, have you ever worked? Hang on, this guy. Put it up now. Just give me a second. Have you ever worked with differently abled individuals? And how would you describe their emotional? Do you feel discouraged by how people look at them, etc.?
I have worked with differently able individuals. I have worked with people that have struggled with some mental issues, or like I call it neurodivergence, and it is basically the same, because at the end of the day, we all have our own issues with our worthiness. I don't feel that there's a lot of gap. My growth as a coach to support them better tends to be in understanding the way they see the world and they see themselves in the world. So I remember, like, one thing that Elizabeth was mentioning is that in her work as an etiquette consultant, she has to understand the culture before
Mhm.
she can support the person. It's kind of the same for me. So I work with any type of person, and what I do is that I need to understand the way they see themselves and the world, so that then I can meet them there. And for differently able people, is mostly understanding what is the diagnosis, what are the limitations, and what are the possibilities within those limitations. My dad had bipolar disorder, and my mom struggled with depression most of her life. I struggled with depression most of my life, and I also have a sensory disorder called hypersensitivity. So I'm used to adapting, and I'm used to finding the best tools and the best ways to move around the world differently than other people. And I do the same with my clients, whether that is either something as common as depression or anxiety, or I have also worked with people that have MS and other diagnoses. Is mostly about making sure that their needs are met, and that I am not taking for granted what I think their experience is, or that I am not assuming what the reality is, but understanding them so that I can serve them better. And when it comes to dealing with the world and how the world see them, my biggest work there is supporting them in understanding that regardless of how the world outside see them, if they see themselves as worthy, if they see themselves as valuable and as important and lovable, we have half of the battle won already.
Very, very well said. This is the joy seeker in you, the
Yeah.
joy sparker, this joy sparker. Wow, I love that. Ahmed has a question for you, Elizabeth, and that's: does the person need to adjust their image with respect to the environment that they are in? That is the question you have from Ahmed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Ahmed, I'll answer you in a minute. Picking up on what Anna has said, your words are just spot on. I deal with that a lot when, for example, working with disabled people, either on their image, which is can be really challenging, because when you work with someone on building up a closet and you have to motivate that person to believe in themselves, to bypass that let's say that difficulty they have with their bodies, for example. So it's so important to focus on their emotional side and to really work on all those. I'm so happy you did that upgrade in your life coaching. I didn't know that, so I'm very happy. So I will redirect them to you, because it would be
Thank you.
wonderful to have them having that support. Because even on etiquette, it's really another a whole new course when it's
Yeah.
about etiquette and protocol, dealing with disabled people. And I love that. We have to do a show only about that.
Yes.
Well,
Going
hang on.
back to Ahmed. Yes, sorry.
No, let me come back to you all, because don't leave me out of this, because I actually have four themes on Big B Meetup. Prior to the COVID situation, Big B Meetup was started in 2018, and one of my four pillars is people with who are differently abled, and I call it this ability. And then there's the other one that I have is on sports and wellness, and that's where I didn't know Anai was such a big I mean, she spoke so well, and I like the way you spoke so truly about your inhibitions and your issues. It's just fantastic, because people have issues and they don't want to talk about it, but they just
Mhm.
suffer inside. But you just opened up so well in front of everybody. That's amazing. So I'd like to call you guys in, and we
Yes.
once
You
everything
know,
opens up.
something funny that happened to me was that in the beginning of my consulting, when I was only focusing in image consultancy before I entering into the etiquette and protocol, I discovered that I always said that opening someone's closet, it's not just about clothes. I ended up listening to hours and hours of things that had nothing to do with their clothes.
Mhm.
And then I did a life coaching course because of that back in 2011, because I was like, I need to be able of helping these people more than just their looks, so
Yeah,
and I did it before I even did the etiquette and protocol, just because of that. This is so important, and especially collaborating with other professionals in order to being able of giving more than I am prepared to give, and just guide them to someone who really have the techniques and have the knowledge to just walk with them in that sense. So that is so good. I'm very happy for you. Thank you so much for
yeah,
adding that to your.
Well,
And
very
I,
true.
I forgot about Ahmed. You asked me a question, and
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
There's
sorry, it
another.
was about.
Hang on. The question was, does yeah? There's another question actually. The
It's
question
about
was,
their image, right, with their environment.
yeah.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
absolutely,
You
Ahmed
answered
is
that.
what. is what I said before about your environment, your surroundings, the culture, but most of all, the word adjust that you use is very, very important, because I do not believe in change, in changing who you are, in someone you're not, regardless of your environment. You just have to adapt. Your beliefs are your beliefs, and the way you live your life is the way you live your life. But it's very important to adjust. So when I was living in China, I adjusted to their culture. When I moved to Qatar, I adjusted to their culture. I did not change who I am, but I definitely adjusted in many senses, in the way I dress, in the way, in etiquette, in events, in social etiquette, in
Yeah.
dining etiquette, in corporate etiquette, in all senses. So yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Ahmed he's a wonderful viewer, and he always has lovely questions. This is a nice question, fantastic question, Ahmed. Thank you so much for participating. So Anahi, this question is for you actually.
Mhm.
What you think of Arabs' perception on anything related to the therapists and the idea of seeking mental help? I ask because several or most Arabs have negative perception.
I feel like this is
Yeah.
something in collectivist, or like older collectivist societies, like the Arab world, the African world, even the some Asian cultures and even Latino cultures. There's a perception that we don't need help, that getting help from outside is like washing your dirty laundry outside, right? It's
Oh,
very close minded, but it's changing, and it's changing rapidly. And I have to say, one of my advantages as a coach is that coaching is a space of growth. So therapy is a space of healing. Coaching is a space of growth. So as a coach, I get brought more because people is like, oh, I wanna be better. There's less of a stigma. There's always a stigma. Like I can tell you, growing up in the 90s in Venezuela with a dad who struggled with a very, very complicated mental illness, and me, I was hospitalized twice for trying to commit suicide. Like, I know what it's like to have that stigma. I know what it's like to open up my heart and be like, I'm not good, I'm depressed or something. So I feel like it has changed. My generation for sure has a more normalized way of seeing mental health, and I feel like there's a big push worldwide, especially in certain older societies. I
yeah.
see it even here, that are opening up more, but there's still a lot of shame. Just as there's a lot of shame around being differently able, or like neurodivergence. These concepts are new concepts that we're beginning to go into. I have clients that tell me, my son was diagnosed with ADHD, and it's like all hush hush, or my brother has depression, and it's still, I feel like the more we open up and the more we say, yes, my brain works differently, and I'm still worthy, I can still give a lot to the society, I have loads to give back, I have a mission and I have a passion, that is going to help with this. And in terms of the perception, yeah, I mean, we have to give the older generations a chance to normalize this, but it is getting better. And I can tell you, especially for one thing that I'm very passionate about, is mental health for men, obviously after seeing my dad struggle. And I see that there has been a big shift in the last couple of years in the way people talk about, and men talk about the way they felt. So I do think
True.
that we're getting better at it. Do we still need to work on it? For sure. But we're getting better. And situations like this, where we are all talking very openly, help shift the perception.
Yeah, very true. Wow. This is really getting interesting, huh? I think I should just chuck my questions away and just continue talking and because let us get a free session from both the wonderful women here. Now, I want to be
We
corrected.
warned you that we like to talk, both of us.
Yeah, well, I like to talk too. But what I want to say, Elizabeth, you corrected me very well, and I want to go on record here when I said I wanted to call the program Latino Evening, and you said, "Hey, hey, hey, I'm Portuguese. I'm not Latino." Can you explain that? What? Yeah, my God, yeah. So this
I
is saying,
learned it the hard way from my
yeah.
Latino friends.
So for
Right.
us,
We love you, but don't try to use a Latino because you are Portuguese. You were born in Europe, in Portugal. You are not Latino. Don't use that.
yeah,
And
true.
I took it. I was like, okay,
So,
Anna, he knows all about this.
so explain. Can you explain what is? I mean, what's the difference? I mean, both of you can answer, but let me go with Elizabeth first. What's
Oh, they love their Latino roots, and they love that the association is with their South American countries, and they really love that. They are very proud of that. They have no problems whatsoever in reminding anyone of that. And I love that. I love that about them. I mean, it's just I love that, and of course I always joke with them. You know, I can also be Latino because I can understand Spanish, and I
yeah?
speak Portuñol, which is a mixture of Portuguese and Espanol. So so we always joke, but they're like, no, don't use it.
Yeah, yeah, true. Uh, Let me go to this. I want to come back to you girls and ask you all. Actually, sorry, no. See, I'm getting sidetracked here. Yeah, Anai, please explain the Latino difference. Yeah.
So this is a big one because also this is a
Yeah.
big one because also so one of the when we were talking about understanding each other better and we're talking about meeting people where they are at, a big part of 2020 for me has been working more on the roots and identity. And when I talk about identity, I don't talk only about our racial identity and our cultural identity, but also understanding better the LGBTQ community and understanding better the pronouns and how to be respectful, because I feel that this is a step that we all, people that are in contact with serving other people, we all need to learn that. So
True.
for me, I am Latina, yes, and I am more than Latina. I actually consider myself Caribbean Latina,
Wow.
and because I am from the Caribbean, so I'm Venezuelan Argentinian, so I'm from the top and from the bottom of Latin America. But a Latino from the top, from the Caribbean, is completely different than a Latino from Argentina. Argentinians and Chileans tend to be much more European, but also we need to understand that Latinos can look like so many different things and can feel like so many different things. In my case, I'm a mix of European with African with native. So part of my ancestry is native Aboriginal from Venezuela and from Argentina. So my
Wow.
name is a native name,
What does it
and
mean?
it means the one that sings with an angel voice. It
Oh
is
my
not true.
God. Ah,
It's a lie.
no, we'll
They
have to
lied to me.
hang on,
They
hang
didn't
on.
know.
We'll have to hear for to believe.
Another time. But the thing is that I think for many of us, especially now, being Latino comes with a weight not only of the oppression that we have had from the colonizers and from culture and all that, but also with the pride of reclaiming our roots and saying, no, I am not the little box that you gave me, I am more. Being Latina means dancing and being passionate, and my taste and my smells and the way my house feels, and it is color and it is laughter and it is loud. But that's my interpretation of that, and maybe for another person it's going to be different. So when you say Latino, you have to be very careful, because Latinos have no skin color. Latinos are
And
not
Anahi, as a Portuguese, for example, you speak Portuguese in Brazil.
yeah,
Brazilians speak Portuguese, but we speak a very different Portuguese. Let's say, I mean, the accent, even
yes, the
certain words, the
pronunciation.
grammar. Yeah. And Portuguese are known for being quite stiff, and we're not has let's say, we always say that Brazilians, they were born to dance, where we are like sticks. Portuguese are, we don't dance like that, we don't move like that. So when we say, like, no, we can also be Latinos because we can look like Latinos, they're like, no, you don't know how to dance. Because we are definitely more
It's a whole
stiff
different
in the way
thing.
we move, in the way we talk, in the way we act. We are so different. But when I use what you just said about your African roots, so I was born in Mozambique. My mom, she
Oh wow,
lived all her life in Mozambique.
wow.
She grew up there, she married there. My brother and I, we were born there, and so I was educated in a lot of African
Mozambique,
uh,
wow. Exotic.
food and culture and vibes. And well, I am definitely a citizen of the world because my parents
True. True.
were the ones that opened the doors for us. But when I talk to my African friends and say, I was born in Africa and this and that, and they're
They're
like,
like, no, you're Portuguese. You're Portuguese, born in Africa. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
yes,
that.
so
But
keep
you know what?
quiet.
This is the thing. Like, if you see my mother
Yeah,
recognizes herself as um Afro Latina. And if you see my mom has an
Wow.
afro and
yeah,
is darker than me. I am mixed. I'm very mixed. So I am
yeah,
a lot of what you see is mostly like the European look, but I'm actually also part native. So when you say Latino, you need to understand, Bosco, that it's such a complex concept. And it
Yeah.
comes with more than just the music. Like, again, an Argentinian and a Venezuelan are very different. A Colombian and a Guatemalan very different. And we might all fall
yeah,
into that Hispanic or Latino bag, but it can look and feel and sound and move so differently. And this is why many of us
very.
want to celebrate. I want to, and I always say that whenever someone tells me, "Oh yeah, of course you're pretty because you're Latina," I'm like, "No, I'm Latina." And I'm Caribbean and I'm many things, but don't box them all together because you can't. It's so
Yeah.
rich, you know. I
Yeah.
have heritage from the slaves that were
Yeah.
brought
Yeah,
from
but one
Africa.
thing they're right. You are beautiful no matter what. So, I mean, one thing they're right.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Actually, you're even more beautiful from the inside, from what I've heard so far. Anahi and
Thank
Elizabeth. I've heard you, but you're extremely beautiful. But you have to be because that's your job.
No, 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 no. But she's also a jewel. Like, one of the things that I admire about this woman is that she is as sweet in person as you see in all her posts. She's also a devoted mom, a super supportive wife, and she's just awesome. She's the kind of person that when you need something, you call her and she will be there for you. And she has been.
Wow.
I have sent her text like, "Can you help me with this?" And she's like, "Here you go."
Wow, great. That's fantastic. I need to continue with my questions because I have three or four very important questions for both of you women. And the question is,
Rewarding.
Elizabeth, when did you start glam your image? And what are your insights into your journey so far, as a mother, as a super mom? Yeah, that's one question I want both of you all to answer. How do you all juggle being a mother, being a certified life coach, being a protocol consultant? How do you all make time for everything? That question can be answered by both of you all. Let me start with Elizabeth.
Well, I believe that we are only happy when we do what we love, and we shouldn't stop doing what we love because we have a husband or have kids or moved country. We should always focus. We can do it all. We women, we can definitely multitask. Well, not let's not get into that argument, but we are champions of multitasking. But
True.
I do believe that one of our greatest strengths is being able of handling what we are here to do, which is working, being moms, being educators, being wives, being singles, uh, being grandmas or not being grandmas. Every role we are suited to do and to fulfill. And I strongly believe that if I am a person that wants to spread joy in my household and want my children to follow, I need to do what I love. And doing what I love is being a mom, being a wife, and being a businesswoman, let's say. So I cannot drop one. I can't. I need to do all of them. And when I moved to Qatar was because of my husband. So basically, I left my profession where we were living in China, and I followed my husband. My two boys were born in China, and
Wow.
they came here very small. My youngest was just 20 months old. So I did that for my husband, but always with the mindset of I will keep back on track and do what I have to do because this is how I am happy. And they love to see me happy. So I believe that if you want to be really happy, you cannot just hold your dreams. You can, for a while, put them on hold because sometimes we all have to do that. But as soon as possible, we should go to them and we should work on them and we should keep going. It does not need to be done at once. You can do it step by step. That's how I did it. I officially started Glam Your Image in 2009 and I never stopped. And my daughter was born in 2010. I have 3 kids now. I never stopped. It's all about how you plan. Planning is crucial. How you organize, how you organize your house, how you organize your office, how you organize yourself. So I always started with me first. Let me organize, let me focus, let me balance, and then I can go and organize these
Mm.
guys, my husband, my kids, my household, and then my job, the people I work with, my clients. So for me, it's all about balance and about creating that balance that makes me comfortable. Because if I am comfortable, if I am happy, if I am doing what I love, everyone around me is happy.
Mm.
Understand? So it's as simple as this. And we tend to complicate things. So we have to simplify. And a lot of people come to me and I can't do it because of this, of that, of that. I said, just don't try to do it all at once. Pick one and start with that. I had this conversation with Anna a few times already.
Yes, yes,
And,
yes.
yeah. And I remember when you were starting and you felt overwhelmed, and I strongly believe in this. Just do one thing at a time and keep adding as you grow. And when I say grow, is grow here, grow inside as you grow. And then you are more comfortable to add. And there you go. But nowadays we want everything very fast and very
True.
quick. And that's the problem. We lose ourselves and then we have to stop. And then we get into depressions because we do not give ourselves the time to just adapt and keep building.
Yeah.
It's the pressure, it's everything.
True.
So
Very true.
did I lose myself? Did you ask me something else? And I
No, no, that's fine. This is like a session. We're not. This is not an interview anymore. This is a session by Elizabeth and
okay.
it is. It is. And I want to. I mean, again, these questions. You all are so similar. For me, I'm just realizing that you all are both so similar that the questions now they shouldn't be different from Anahi and Elizabeth. So yeah. So Anahi, what are your? I mean. As humble as you are, what are your achievements you could label as so far in your life,
Oh
and
gosh.
also your aspirations? What do you aspire for to? Or,
Okay. So my achievements, first of all, surviving COVID, loving my kids, everyone surviving the lockdown, everyone surviving being far from home, being far for our loved ones, watching our country struggle while we couldn't do much. That has been a huge achievement. I think that we
yeah.
can all hold to because it has been a really tough year. Um, well, professionally, I have so many. I'm a world published author. I'm a public
Yeah.
speaker, which I love.
What is the book? I'm so sorry, I didn't
So I
get a
have
chance.
co-authored 3 books. One is called Wine Crazy Broccoli, and that was an international best-selling book.
Wow,
Um, and
congratulations.
and I know that there will be more. I think that that's one of my aspirations is to write my. I have an idea for a book that I've been playing with for a while, and then also my career. I like Elizabeth said when we met, my kids were tiny and they were more needs. Like the smaller the kids, the bigger the needs. And understanding that there are stages and going with those stages and watching them has been a huge achievement. And then if I'm honest, well, I earned an Uridu Shiro award a couple of years ago. That was a great moment too.
Wow.
And I'm really proud of what I have done. I cannot choose one thing because this year alone has been such a test for me professionally and personally. And here I am. I completed my first triathlon. I
Wow.
did I did my first
Wow.
aquathlon and I came second. So personally there has been a lot of
Wow.
huge things. And I think that ultimately, and I think that Elizabeth might agree with this. The biggest achievement we have is that we keep standing up. We
Wow.
fall and we
Bouncing back.
stand up
Bouncing
every
back.
single day. We go to
True.
bed and then the next day we come up again with energy and with an attitude of service, and that to me is precious.
Love that.
Aspirations wise, I would love to have my own um I would love to have my own TV show. If I'm gonna dream big, I want to have a TV show when I talk about food and culture and Qatar and the melting pot. So that will be one. I do want to write a couple of books and keep growing.
That's
Ultimately,
nice.
I would love to be in a Super Soul Sunday with Oprah. So that's a big aspiration
Oh
there.
wow, that's nice, lovely. Well, I'm planning a book myself. It's more photography. It's more about the images that like the images that you can see on the back. There's all my part of my exhibition that I've had earlier, and I'm planning a big exhibition next year on Qatar. But yeah, I want to publish a book too. I would. The same question goes to Elizabeth. What are your? Oh, it's all about glam. Lovely,
Is that your
lovely.
book?
Is that the book?
Well,
Okay, she's giving
it's
it
been
to
here.
me.
Sorry, this little girl has been here
Oh,
for a while now,
hello.
She's like,
stretching
love
my
me.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to call someone to get her, but no one was around.
Oh, how cute. She's so cute.
Um,
You know, Elizabeth, you took part in my animal rescue program that I had that did 2 3 months
yes.
ago.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you,
I
thank you
love
so
what
much.
you do.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'm getting sidetracked again, but would what is your take on animal abuse advocacy in Qatar? You know,
Uh,
and
oh, don't
since
even get
COVID
me
came.
started on that. And I run
Okay.
such a crazy house. Besides the fact that I have 3 kids, 4 if you count my husband, but it's
Wow.
not.
He's like, we don't count me. We don't count me.
Yeah.
I'm a big.
And I have 7 adopted cats, and I had 2 dogs, but one died
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
recently, and I have one now. So I mean, I oh, and this Christmas we just had an addition of 2 lizards, no, iguanas,
oh
iguanas.
wow,
So I
wow.
mean, we do
Lizard.
run a very busy house. I know.
No, no,
Oh my
And
God.
iguanas are fine.
Uh,
you're also a
Igu-
committed vegan, right, Elizabeth?
Oh,
Yes,
what
this
is that all about?
January the 7th will be my second year on a plant-based diet. I've been
Wow.
just enjoying so much this transformation in my life and everything around it. I tried in the beginning to go like to adopt the vegan lifestyle, but I quickly stopped that and I just decided to do what makes me happy and makes my life easier. So I am on a plant-based diet uh, for a choice. When I travel, I become quickly vegetarian because it's very difficult to be vegan when you travel sometimes. So,
Mhm.
and I don't want to pressure myself or the people around me. My family embrace that. They're not vegans. They eat their meat and they eat their whatever they like, but they try everything I do. And we just learned so much
What's
about
your reason?
the beauty
Sorry,
of veganism. And
why did you choose
sorry.
Sorry, but why did you choose veganism? Why did you choose? What is the choice?
Um,
That's why.
it was a
Is it
challenge.
because
I
you want
love
to
challenges. I love challenges. So 2 years ago, someone from the Veganuary invited me for a 1 month a Veganuary, and then I just dived into it and I just said, I'm going to do this. And
Wow.
1 month passed in a blink of an eye, and I just decided to go another month. And then the next challenge was my first Ramadan vegan. And then the next challenge was going to Portugal for summer holidays as a vegan. I was like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
everything was just, I love that. And it just, the experience was amazing. There
Would,
are a lot of things that I can argue about. I've met a lot of vegan people that I really think they make you not want to be a vegan and they make you give up everything. Yeah, I did,
I know, I know. I know what you
unfortunately,
mean.
and that's why I decided to have my own thing, which is I do what I think it's right for me and what works for me. And I'm not going to throw any of my bags or my shoes because they are here already. But I am definitely more conscious in buying. As an image consultant, it was such a
wow.
huge challenge. As someone on social media with a page that gets involved with brands a lot, it was a huge challenge. So what I decided to do was just do what works for me, what I think it's fair, with the brand and with my personality and with the people who follow me, and be very transparent about it,
Mhm.
so, and it's been wonderful,
Have you
wonderful.
have you tried vegan choricao?
Yes, I
Oh,
did. Chorizão. Yes,
oh
I have
wow,
in my house. I have even ham, vegan ham, everything.
wow. Oh. But what you don't have is
Chorizão is what we eat in Goa, right?
exactly. But what you
Yeah.
don't have is me being invited over to try that. So I'm gonna, yes, I'm gonna. So
We
I'm
need
gonna
to do
try
a
and invite.
potluck. We need to do a potluck.
Absolutely, we should. We should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, guys, we have two more questions and we have 8 more minutes. Yeah. I'm actually thinking
Okay.
of having another show with you people. We have to do this again because I'm getting
With your
too many.
pleasure.
Yeah, you all are phenomenal. And I just can't believe I put you all together. Just, I did, this is not planned, it was not strategic. Like, let me get an eye,
I told you right away when I
It
heard the
was
name.
planned. It's always a
Very happy
divine
to do
plan.
it.
Yeah, I was worried, like, my God, if I get too Latino, that I thought Latino, will they fight or will they do salsa together? I'm like, what will happen? But this is
There's so much
fantastic.
respect in here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so proud of you, both of you. Uh, I have this question which should end in a couple of minutes. Anahi, what is your take on this year, man? The 2020, the year, the phenomenal year.
Um,
In,
I
I
feel
found
I
it.
feel 2020
in,
has
we
been
can hear
very
you.
testing for everyone. It has been a year of enormous growth. A lot of us have been through a lot of pain and hardship, but a lot of us have discovered through it how strong we are. So I do believe that I'm not the type of people that say everything happens for a reason, because we seek reason. The reason is whatever we want to make it. But I
Mhm.
do feel like this year helped many of us understand how strong, resilient, and wonderful we are. And to many of us, it was also a year where we have to put our faith at test. And the opposite of fear is not courage. The opposite of fear is faith. So, for example, for me and many of my clients, I see it. It was a year of saying, I surrender. I don't need to
Mm.
control everything. I
Wow.
surrender. Everything will be okay because I am strong within myself. And that has been beautiful, I think.
Yeah, very true. I just want to stop there because we have another question from Ahmed and we didn't get it. And it's a nice question. And Ahmed, that'll be your last question if you don't mind, because I have 6 more minutes. But you should meet Ahmed, and he was on our show 2 weeks ago. He's a phenomenal artist. Elizabeth, he's asking you, I'm noticing that many Qatari people wear the same thing and have almost an identical personalities, which is quite boring. Only a Qatari can say that, huh, by the way. Why aren't more Qataris have an independent mind as opposed to dependent mind and style? Well, that's a good question, but Ahmed, you're putting Elizabeth on the spot here. I mean, be my guest, please.
I have
Yeah.
so many Qatari friends, so I know what you are talking about, Ahmed, and a lot of my Qatari clients and friends raise these questions, and we actually sometimes we ended up having consultations that were supposed to go into a different direction, just being about this topic, but it's very cultural, and again, it's step by step. I remember initially when I started working with the first Qataris here in Qatar, my approach was totally different because I was coming from these amazing schools. I studied all around the world, and I was coming with all these rules and all these sets, and I was like, no, like this. And I quickly had to stop that and just go into uh, who you are, getting to know who you are, and letting that shine from the inside out. Now, I don't think Qataris are boring at all. I know so many different Qataris with so many different
True,
personalities.
true, true.
I do understand the style question, but definitely cultural. And we do have a lot of issues about even about the shayla, and those who wear the shayla like this, those who wear like this, those who wear like this, and you know what I mean. Just by that topic, we can
He agrees. He
spend
agrees.
hours talking about it.
He
And also
agrees.
the abaya and the cut of your abaya, and how long is your sleeve, and how wide, and is it draped or is it buttoned up, or I mean, it's Ahmed, let's have a coffee and discuss about this.
Yeah.
But definitely, slowly, mentalities are opening. Doesn't mean you're changing into someone you're not, but definitely adapting. And you see the word adapting,
Mm.
adapting and accepting change. And I see that every day here in Qatar with the clients I work with and with the friends.
Wow, this is really lovely. Uh, the question that you didn't answer for me, which I have not yet put to you, is your take on the year, Elizabeth, of 2020. Anahi's,
Oh,
what is your take on this year? Because,
yeah, I was listening to Anai, and I see myself in her words. And having said that, it was a very positive year for me, extremely
wow,
positive.
wow.
Yeah, extremely positive. We just spent. I work a lot, and I run around a lot, and it was a time where I had to slow down and to just
Mm,
focus. And we did a lot of great family time, and I do understand the missing of family, missing of traveling, all of that. But the moments I spent inside my house, I just love my house, my niche here inside my house so much, and the moments we spent as a family, and the learning curve that we had, and the priorities, and how to organize and balance everything, made it so positive. And then I did work throughout COVID, although my husband stayed at home most of the time. I did
mhm.
have some work that I could keep doing.
Yeah, yeah.
um, I just saw the change in people, and due to my line of work, sometimes we have a lot of things that we would like to educate people on, that's not really important, or you should prioritize this, those things that cross your mind. And I saw people changing, and adapting and embracing. So that was so positive, really. That was super positive. I am looking forward to 2021. I don't think it will be much different, but I think it will be better, or at least the half of 2021 will be better. But I think slowly we are on the recovery road, and we will get there eventually. And I just hope that people don't forget what this made and what happened, and just be kind to one another.
Yeah, you got your this show has become very popular. I got so many Goans coming on the show. As you can see, with their names like Fabian, Claros. By the way, Claro is all the way from Toronto, in Canada.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
Oh
she's the,
wow.
Hi to everyone.
yeah.
Hi to everyone.
And Fabian is a good friend of mine. He has worked in Venezuela actually because he works for
Wow.
an oil and gas
Oh,
company.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, we should have a Latino Portuguese Goan program one day. Yeah, we
Yes.
should.
I love it.
Yeah, we have 2 more minutes, and I'm so sorry. I would like to carry on. People are asking me, actually, sending me messages saying, "Can you can you carry on?" I would like
Wow.
so, but we have to be focused. As I'm learning from you, women, focused. I need focus in my life too, because
Prioritize,
yeah,
focus, balance.
because as an artist, sometimes your mind is all over, it's scattered. And I'm a very impromptu person. I'm very like suddenly right now I want to do something. I want to take a picture. Or I want to do art. Or I want to doodle. So I need to learn.
I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've learned a lot from you two women. But I want to learn a little more. When I say I want to learn a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Portuguese. Yeah. So I'd like you ladies to give us your message of love and peace. That's how we end the program to our viewers, but with a little mix in English, yes, for all our viewers to understand, but also in Portuguese and in Latino,
Spanish.
Spanish, Argentinian, Venezuelan Spanish. Yeah. So let's start with the E first, then we go to the A. Yeah. So Elizabeth, it's your we would love to hear your message of love, understanding, peace.
I really would love people to not be expecting that 1st of January magic will happen and suddenly, because I see a lot of these in conversations. I would just love people to think that what you do now on the 28, 29, 30, 31 is as important as what you will do on the first, second, and third, and fourth, and so on. That nothing will happen like this. Things will take time. But if we focus and if we stay positive, for me, this word is crucial, as cliche as it may sound.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
be positive, to focus and to have a mindset when you wake up in the morning, instead of looking at the mirror and saying, oh, this or that, you just say, thank you for another day, thank you, and just that's it. That's how you should start your day, you know. And if people will just focus on these and focus on things that are very close to you, family, friends, and take every day one step of the time, I am sure the year is going to be so much easier than if you're negative, or if you
yeah,
doubt, or if you're not hopeful, you know.
yeah,
Muito obrigada a todos. I will just say this in English.
yeah.
I love everyone who's participated. I couldn't see all the messages, but I will. But there's one, which is Geraldine Menezes, which she said she's my Portuguese sister. She's from Goa. Also, I want to send her a kiss. And to everyone that sent questions. And I would love also to say a message in
uh,
Portuguese. Muito obrigada a todos, foi um prazer estar aqui. Obrigada aos portugueses, there's Portuguese here, Sónia da Silva, um beijo para ti, estás no Brasil, um beijo muito grande, obrigada por teres participado, minha irmã do coração.
wow.
Um beijo muito grande à Elsa, que está em Portugal e que eu também vi aqui. Um beijo a todos os que participaram, e que o ano 2021 seja fantástico. Um dia de cada vez, um passo de cada vez, e mantenham-se positivos.
Is that a
Okay, I
Portuguese?
tried to be very short, sorry.
Is that a Portuguese rap song? Because you were fast. You were too
I
fast.
understood. I understood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hang on. You're talking about Geraldine.
I was like, oh my God, Anna, he needs to talk. And I know. He can talk.
Uh, Elizabeth,
Let me wrap up.
yeah, Elizabeth, you're telling me Geraldine is your Portuguese sister. Well, she is my real sister. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, she's your sister. Hey,
Yeah, I love her. And I saw her message come. I can't see the messages now. I don't know why, but I saw her message and I was like, I just want to send her a kiss. I love her.
yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, Anahi,
Yes.
what's your message? You take your time now because we've
Super
passed the
fast.
1 hour. Yalla.
Well, 2020 taught us a lot of lessons, and in 2020 we were tested, and we have shown that we can and we will. So I feel like if we enter 2021 knowing that we are resilient and we're strong, and that strength doesn't mean that we're gonna be hard. Strength means having soft edges. So being strong is about
Mm,
showing up every day authentically and knowing that whatever life throws at us, we can deal it and we can face it with poise and with compassion. So I feel like if I have to tell everyone one little message is show yourself a little bit more love. I think that if the mantra for 2021 is I need a little bit more love, no less, we are all gonna be fine because we will continue being tested. So we need to remain compassionate and soft and loving first to ourselves and then to others. So that, like Elizabeth said, when we are happy, we can meet and greet the world from a space of love and happiness too.
yeah.
And thank you so much. And now I'm going to shift to Spanish. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Muchísimas gracias por escucharnos y escuchar esto. Y les deseo un 2021 lleno de fantasías, llenos de aventuras y de mucha alegría. Nos lo merecemos todo, así que vamos por él. A por él, vamos.
Wow. Wow, guys. Thank you so much. Gracias to both of you, Bellas. Yeah. Amigas.
Obrigada.
Obrigado. Obrigado. Yes. Obrigado. Yeah. And I will see you ladies in the new year. I would like to take this to another level on another episode, maybe in
Yes.
March, or
Anytime.
maybe in the physical sense once
Yes,
things open up. Yeah.
yes,
I
yes, yes.
absolutely. And I'm very proud of you both. And I'm inviting myself over for a drink of Coke
Please,
or a nice
please.
little mojito, virgin mojito at some point. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much, viewers. I would like to wish you all also a happy new year,
Happy New Year.
and take care and be positive, as Anai and Elizabeth